I think there's a problem, Aidan, with a lot of entertainers out there. They just kind of look at their entertainment business and they go, okay, I'm getting leads from somewhere. Better keep up the social media presence. They're going to be coming from there. Maybe I could tweak my website copy. Or for those people who have taken the step in the right direction, they've listened to episode 40, 41 and 42 of the TSM podcast and learned all about authentic networking and how we generate high quality leads. And they go, okay, I get my leads through networking, and they put their time there. But they don't think about it anymore. They don't think about the most important thing, which is what we're going to talk about in a second, the client journey. They almost treat their clients and the people coming in as like little mystical bumblebees. They just float around. They just suddenly appear out of nowhere. And then you've just got to try and catch them and put them through your sales funnel, which you don't really think about and don't really understand. You just want to hope that, hey, maybe there's a gig in there.
Well, this is it at the end of the day. We all get obsessing over lots of different elements of our entertainment business, but actually this high level overview of each of the stages is really rare. And we all mess this up at the best of times. We're guilty of it. In fact, right now, I would probably go so far as to say there are multiple categories that we are working on actively to basically plug the leaks in our pipeline, if you like. But again, if you're brand new here, this is it's probably a good time to actually introduce ourselves. My name is Aidan O'Sullivan, and the guy talking about mystical magical bumblebees was Mr. Ashley Green. This is the TSM podcast, The Successful Mentalist. Stay tuned and follow for more. Is that what the cool kids say now? I don't know. Anyway, long story short, we have got, in our Learn to Thrive training program, we've got 5 really clear categories to help you with your client journey. And I'll be honest, we think these are the 5 categories. Every person in your network will fall into these 5 categories. So rather than wasting a load of time telling you about everything that's there, we want you to think about this as you're listening to this episode. We're going to tell you the categories, all 5 of them, with a definition of what that category is and what the point actually is. What's it supposed to do? And all of these happen in a linear order. Category 1 into category 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. Really simple, really obvious. So with that said, Ashley, what is category number 1?
Well, category number 1 of when we look at our client journey is right at the very beginning. Where do people come from before they turn into clients? So let's start looking at what we call the brand awareness. How do your ideal target clients get to hear about you? Where do they first see you? Is this your social media? Is this you performing at a residency? Is this your website? Or is it merely the fact that you're on Google? When you understand that, then you can start taking action in the right direction and know where to start putting your time. But we need to start looking right at the very beginning. Brand awareness. How do people hear about you? How do they see you?
Well, that's exactly it. And then moving swiftly on, once they've got that awareness and they come into your world, if you like, we have this second category, which we call warming prospects, which is quite simply making sure and warming that relationship that you've got. So how do they actually engage and become closer to you as not just an entertainer, but as a person as well? You see, we're all up for saying, get a load of people on your email list and get a load of people on your social media. That's great. And 100% do that. But what's more important than all of this, and in fact, it's probably the foundation of our businesses entirely, is to actually have a connection with these people. So step 2, category number 2, is actually having a process, a clear-cut process on warming each prospect once they're in your overall world, your brand awareness. So with that said, what is number 3 in this category chain thing?
Well, yeah, the warming prospects is something which is overlooked because often people go straight up, and this is where they start when they look at client journey. They go straight in for this one, but this is number 3 on the list. You've got brand awareness first, then looking at how to warm your prospects, how they're going to warm to you and get closer to you, and then from there you start looking at how you're going to generate leads. How are you going to turn these warm prospects, which have got a little bit closer to you, and actually turn them in to potential leads for your ideal target events? What is your process there? How are you going to do that?
Exactly, that's a really important step. So to recap so far, brand awareness. Step 1, how do they come into your world? Step number 2, warm prospect. How do they engage and become closer to you? Step number 3 is generating leads. How will you turn those warm prospects into perfect leads, high quality leads, more importantly, than your ideal target events. And, this is actually where like Facebook ads and all of this kind of stuff falls short, because you don't have high quality leads coming from there. You have to build that way later in the process. So with that said, step number 4, creating clients. And we say create here because we really mean create, not just generate clients or make clients or find clients. It's not about that. It's about creating a client through the relationship that you're actually building. You can generate a lead and identify an opportunity, but it takes a lot to then convert it, which is how we create our clients. We have to do this. It's almost like I don't want to say it's like a dance because that feels cliched, but it really is. It's a symbiotic thing between you and that lead to actually close down a gig and convert it into a paid booking. And that's category number 4, creating clients.
And finally, the last category, one that again is so overlooked. Well, we've already looked here about clients and most people stop there, but this last one is so important for you guys to look into. Raving fans. How are you going to create raving fans? What is your process of where the client's going to go through and how they're going to end up as a raving fan? Because, oh boy, if you've got that and if you can convert that after a gig, well, you're going to have someone that's going to come to potentially more of your public events, paying for tickets, someone who's going to book you for maybe more events if they got a party next year or a corporate event next year, or they want another college show next year or another wedding, or are they going to recommend you to everyone in their network, therefore upping their lifetime work? You're actually getting more work from them because they're fully prepared to go out there and refer you because they literally see you as this amazing person, and they just can't stop but help talk about you because they just love everything about what you do. Whether it might be sharing a post or booking that show for you by connecting you with another potential client to go back around through to brand awareness, which again could be brand awareness again. A raving fan might recommend you, but this is a constant loop which can go around, and this is such an important thing. But if you nail these 5 areas and assess this entire client journey going from start to finish, you're going to start to build a better process in your business. You're going to start to identify flaws and features which have been missing, and you're going to get higher conversions. You're going to get more leads in, and you're not going to make mistakes which often happen where you forget to do things and things slip.
And I'd like to plant the seed out there because I know a lot of our audience is technologically savvy and a little bit clever when it comes down to the interwebs. When you have systems in place for each of these little categories, well, you can also automate it. You can do a lot of automation to speed up that entire process and make it really, really simple and almost feel seamless as they transition from brand awareness into a warm prospect, into a lead, into a client, and then into a raving fan. And our aim is to get that raving fans category as soon as we can. And obviously we follow that near and far between, but that is a really clear 5 category process straight from our flagship training, Learn to Thrive, which if you want to pop an application in or find out more, head over to thriveinmagic.com. You'll be able to see all of the shebang, all of the details. And if you fancy coming and joining us, we'd love to help you through this process, but that's at thriveinmagic.com.